The evening light was fading over the quiet suburbs of a small American town, the kind of place where dinner is a sacred ritual and health is a frequent topic of conversation over the fence. Inside his brightly lit clinic, Dr. John sat across from a medical monitor, his eyes reflecting the intricate map of a human brain. He had spent the last 40 years studying how the body ages, and today he felt a familiar weight in his chest, the weight of a truth that millions of seniors were currently ignoring. "Did you know," Dr. John began, his voice calm yet carrying an undeniable edge of urgency, "that a simple vegetable you eat every night, something you've trusted your whole life, could quietly raise your risk of a stroke while you sleep? It sounds impossible, doesn't it? No chest pain, no dizziness, no warning signs at all. You go to bed feeling perfectly fine, believing you've made a healthy choice, and by morning, everything has changed. Your speech is slurred, your right arm won't lift, and your thoughts feel scrambled, as if a vital part of your brain simply didn't wake up with you." He leaned closer to the camera, his gaze piercing. "I am Dr. John. Most seniors in America are told that stroke risk comes from the obvious villains: smoking, a poor diet, or a lack of exercise. But after the age of 60, there is another threat, one that few doctors ever talk about, and it's hiding right on your dinner plate."
Certain vegetables, when eaten late in the day or combined with the natural changes that aging brings, can trigger dangerous blood pressure swings, disrupt your heart's rhythm, or interfere with your life-saving medications. All of this happens silently in the dark hours when your brain is at its most vulnerable. Tonight's routine dinner could be setting the stage for a midnight clot that steals your independence before you even open your eyes. Before we dive into these 7 vegetables, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. If you are ready to protect your future, type 1 in the comments below.
Let us begin with a vegetable that has become the very symbol of health in American kitchens, Dr. John said, stepping toward a display of fresh, leafy greens. Kale. For most of your life, kale has been a source of pride, a superfood added to smoothies, salads, and soups to ensure vitality. But what almost no one tells older adults is that after the age of 60, this powerhouse can quietly become a liability, especially if you are one of the millions of seniors in the United States relying on blood thinners like warfarin to protect your heart. He adjusted his glasses, his expression turning grave. These medications are powerful lifelines, designed to keep blood flowing smoothly through vessels that have spent decades hardening. But what these drugs cannot fight is a sudden, massive surge of vitamin K, the very nutrient kale provides in abundance. When you eat a large serving of kale for dinner, that surge hitches a ride in your bloodstream while you sleep, effectively muting your medication. Your protection slips away in the dark, and a clot can begin to form deep inside a narrowed artery, thickening quietly between midnight and dawn. I'll never forget a patient named Mr. Walter, a proud grandfather who enjoyed a healthy kale salad at sunset. He slept peacefully, but by sunrise his words were slurred and his right hand was weak. His medication had been overpowered by his dinner. But kale is not alone in this, Dr. John continued. Next, we have spinach.
Beyond the vitamin K risk, spinach is loaded with oxalates that can disrupt your electrolyte balance. Between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., every human body experiences a natural rise in blood pressure, a morning hormonal surge. If spinach has destabilized your circulation or altered your blood thickness during these hours, the danger becomes real. A clot moves without pain. It triggers a stroke in a single night without a single warning. For a senior, consistency in your portions and timing is not just a diet tip, it is a survival strategy.
Now, we must turn our attention to 2 American staples that carry a nostalgic warmth, Dr. John said, his voice lowering as he walked toward a small dining table set with familiar side dishes: pickled cucumbers and sauerkraut. For many of you, these aren't just foods, they are the tastes of family barbecues, holiday traditions, and Midwest cookouts. They feel harmless, perhaps even healthy given their plant-based origins. But for a senior with aging arteries, these fermented favorites can quietly turn into a nighttime landmine that few people ever discuss. He picked up a jar of pickles, turning it slowly in his hand. The hidden danger here is an extraordinary amount of sodium. As we grow older, our bodies lose the flexibility to process salt the way they once did. After age 60, your kidneys slow down, and your blood vessels lose their youthful elasticity. When you eat high-sodium vegetables like pickles or sauerkraut at dinner, the salt doesn't simply pass through, it lingers. It pulls water into your bloodstream, increasing the total volume of blood your heart must push through pipes that are already stiffening. You might not feel thirsty or notice any swelling, but inside your arteries, a storm is building while you sleep. As you lie in bed, Dr. John continued, his tone increasingly urgent, this sodium surge drives your blood pressure higher and higher during the quietest hours of the night. This intense pressure can cause microscopic cracks in the vessel lining.
Platelets, which are naturally stickier as we age, rush to these cracks to form a patch. Because you are often mildly dehydrated during sleep, your blood is thicker, allowing a clot to form with terrifying ease. Between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., when the body experiences its natural early morning pressure surge, that clot can break free and head straight for the brain. I remember a retired machinist named Mr. Dyer who loved a simple pickle with his evening meal. He never thought twice about the salt, until one winter morning he woke up unable to move his left leg. For an aging heart, just a few forkfuls of sauerkraut or a single pickle can be the force that pushes you into the danger zone while you dream.
As we move deeper into the night, Dr. John said, stepping toward a diagram of the human torso, we must address a vegetable that is woven into the very fabric of American meals, the tomato. From the slices on your evening burger to the rich sauces over your pasta, tomatoes are a symbol of healthy living. But what most older adults never learn is that the natural acidity that makes tomatoes so flavorful can quietly turn into a cardiovascular stressor as soon as the lights go out. After age 60, the muscles that separate the stomach from the esophagus naturally weaken, and for many, a tomato-based dinner at 7 p.m. is the start of a dangerous chain reaction. He pointed to the area around the heart and stomach. When acidic foods trigger nighttime reflux, your body doesn't just experience a burning sensation. It responds with a sudden surge of stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. This fight-or-flight response immediately spikes your heart rate and blood pressure while you are unconscious. For a senior with stiff arteries or plaque buildup, these repeated spikes between midnight and dawn are treacherous. They weaken fragile vessel walls and encourage microscopic clots to form. I met a woman named Mrs. Hawkins who avoided all fried foods but loved her homemade tomato sauce.
She didn't realize that her nightly annoying reflux was actually a series of miniature assaults on her heart and brain, eventually leading to a clot that stole her speech in the early morning hours. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Dr. John continued, his expression grave, we have the beet. Beets are famous for their nitrates, which widen blood vessels to lower pressure. While this is helpful at noon, it can be a low-pressure trap at 3 a.m. For a senior whose body cannot stabilize sudden shifts, beets can drop your blood pressure so low during sleep that your brain becomes starved of oxygen. When blood flow slows to a crawl, it becomes stagnant, and stagnant blood is the perfect breeding ground for a clot. Whether it is the surge from acid or the drop from nitrates, your brain depends on a steady, stable rhythm to survive the night.
Finally, we reach a category that many seniors choose specifically for its clean and gentle reputation, Dr. John said, his voice reflecting a mix of concern and deep empathy. Soy-based vegetables and products like tofu or edamame. Across America, millions of older adults are switching to soy to avoid heavy fats, believing it is the ultimate heart-healthy protein. But soy is more than just food. It is a metabolic force. It contains phytoestrogens, molecules that mimic your body's hormones. For a younger person, these shifts are minor, but after 60, your heart and blood vessels become far more sensitive to hormonal fluctuations, especially during the quiet hours of the night. He leaned in, his expression steady. If you are one of the many seniors taking thyroid medication, the risk multiplies. Soy can interfere with the absorption of your medication, causing your thyroid levels to waver while you sleep. This instability can trigger irregular heart rhythms or arrhythmias. When your heart misfires in the dark, blood doesn't move smoothly, it pulls and swirls in the chambers, creating the perfect conditions for a clot to form. I once cared for a retired postal worker named Mrs. Daniels. She switched to a soy-heavy diet to protect her heart, but she didn't know it was destabilizing the very medication her heart rhythm depended on. One morning, she woke up weak and cold on one side of her body, the victim of a silent, hormonal storm.
Your heart and brain have served you faithfully for decades, Dr. John concluded, his smile returning with a warm, encouraging light. They aren't asking for perfection, they are asking for awareness. This journey isn't about fear, It's about honoring the fact that your body at 70 is a different, more delicate masterpiece than it was at 30. By adjusting when you eat these vegetables, moving them to lunch, or being mindful of your medications, you are protecting your speech, your memory, and your independence. When you protect your nights, you protect your future. Share one thing you've learned today in the comments below, and let's support each other. I'm Dr. John, and here's to living life on your own terms.